I welcome you now to check out Genesis 005. This isn't Genesis chapter 5. This is the fifth study of where I am going through the Bible. Now that the flood has become an event in history, God has decided to change man's dietary needs. Genesis 9, everything that moves, you shall eat. No vegetarian. You have canine teeth. They are designed by God to cut, rip, and mash. Use them. You shall not eat flesh that still has the lifeblood in it, meaning do not eat rare cooked meat. Let's reiterate something here. These were laws passed to the Israelites before Jesus was sacrificed. Most of these laws have been negated to all because Jesus on the cross made it to where faith covered works. You and I are not under the law, but to apply the law to our lives in any form, God notes and blesses. If you believe this means pick and choose what you will honor or not, the only thing you need to honor is your faith that Jesus is Lord and Lord of your life. In essence, I am old enough to drink, smoke, and curse. I just choose not to. Of these laws, faith covers you, and asking for forgiveness of your sins is all that is required. You just don't have as much to be forgiven of, and therefore, more of your sins is all. Let's try that again. Of these laws, faith covers you, and asking for forgiveness of your sins is all that is required. You just don't have as much to be forgiven of, and therefore more to be blessed for. By the way, side note here. Please, when you ask God for forgiveness of your sins, knowing He is faithful to forgive, don't ask for forgiveness of something you intend to repeat. This is a shallow victory. You already have enough sins you are unaware of, such as being mad at your neighbor. On a side note, this is a verse about blood. This verse about blood is one that Jehovah's Witnesses abuse because they use it for their reasoning not to give blood, to give life. More on this later. We will continue with events that happen in Noah's family and the lineages. After the flood, since one of the fruits that Noah grew for food was grapes, he treated them in such a way to produce a drink, and by accident he became drunk. This statement may not be true because of what happened as a result. When Noah gets drunk, Ham discovered Noah in the tent, drunk and naked, and went and told his brothers. If we were to stay with what Genesis says, it would be as simple as getting drunk and shameful. This whole scenario needs to be looked at in a different light due to other sections of the Bible. Much like other sections I have brought up, such as Satan's angels and issues they created, and how we had to read through the Bible to get the fullness of what happened. This situation falls under the same issue. Leviticus 18:17 shows that what Ham did was akin to what we now call having slept with someone. Read Habakkuk 2:15-17. Today, having slept with someone, we know we didn't go to bed and fall asleep with them. Instead, it is something much more sinister. Leviticus 18:7-9, 14, 16, and 20:11 indicate that was the way they spoke of incestual relationships. Using Jewish text on the word tent in this text, it speaks not of Noah's tent, but Noah's wife's tent. The other sons put a blanket on Noah. Noah's wife was the one Ham saw her, or Deuteronomy 22:30. Noah's wife may have been Canaan's mother. Canaan, if you remember, was Ham's fourth son. That's why the lineage of Canaan, his mother's name, is not mentioned, whereas most others are. Ham's lineage was the Hamites, Canaanites, the original occupants of the land promised to Israel. This sin was why God wanted them kicked out. They also lived in parts of Egypt and Africa. Shem and Japheth walked in backwards with a blanket into the tent, Genesis 9:23, and covered him. After Noah found what Ham had done, Genesis 9:22, he was furious and cursed Canaan, Ham's fourth son. Potentially, Noah was too drunk in his wife's tent to have sex, and Noah passed out. Ham had incest but bragged it to his brothers. Potentially, Noah's wife was Canaan's mother. This particular type of event was a regrettable common event amongst biblical characters, like Lot's daughters, who had sex with their dad to carry on the family name by getting him drunk. Genesis 30:19 through 38. The canonization of the Bible from a Catholic perspective is what made many of these facts get not only softened, but spread throughout the Bible, so that if anyone truly studied, they could be brought to light. God's people weren't perfect, but God was not bashful to say that they were. Don't worry too much about what you have done in life. Just live a clean one, and God will bless you as he blessed them. Since the Bible was canonized, likely softened by Athanasius, Bishop of Alexandria, a Catholic priest, about what happened, but had the information spread into other areas of the Bible, not to be found by your average per se Christian. Noah cursed Canaan, the fourth son of Ham, and made the Canaanites the servants of the Shemites. Ham's lineage to Cush to Nimrod. Nimrod was against God. Although Cush started the Tower of Babel as a way to make sure the people wouldn't be destroyed per history by building it higher than the floodwaters had come so the people wouldn't drown, Nimrod, his son, sought to finish it because he hated God. Again, getting ahead of myself. The curse of the Canaanites. First off, the patriarchal blessing wasn't given to Ham. This is bad. Canaan was named by Noah due to what Ham had done. See also Leviticus 18 for a list of future Canaanite sins. Canaanites were Jebusites, Hittites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Archites, Sinites, and the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah. During the time of Joshua, the Canaanites were conquered by the descendants of Shem. The Canaanites were expelled from Canaan, and Israel took it over. This is the reason Abram could not go to Canaan right off, because it wasn't until Joshua that the area was cleared. And that is section 5.